Unlock heavenly abundance. 3 divine miracles revealed to manifest your supernatural desires. In the quaint village of Willow Creek, where time seemed to weave itself into cozy tapestries of tradition, Emma's heart pulsated with faith. A devoted single mother, she tirelessly balanced her humble life with the responsibilities of caring for her beloved son, Oliver. But then darkness fell. Oliver, once bright with laughter, now lay ill, and doctors were at a loss. Emma's soul trembled like a candle flickering in the wind, yet hope surely sprouted from the ashes of despair. Each evening, the warm glow of candlelight flickered within the walls of their church, where soft hymns coiled heavenward like fragrances of incense as the congregation fervently invoked St. Jude, seeking help from the depths of their hearts. Amid the rising tide of worry, an elderly priest appeared. His kind, twinkling eyes held ancient stories of divine grace. "Emma," he whispered, "you are destined for 3 miracles," he said, with a voice that resonated with the echoes of angels. Just then, the air in the church grew dense with harmony, and Emma felt a warm embrace, as if the heavens enveloped her, reassuring her that faith was the key to health, to healing, to salvation. Yet, doubt crept in. Her family argued whether to lean on their fervent prayers or on the uncertain hands of medicine. The shadows of anxiety clouded their discussions, but the ethereal presence of the priest's assurance shone like a beacon through the fog. "Miracle 1 will heal your son," he echoed in her mind. Days passed, and the clock ticked ominously. But just as despair threatened to drown her spirit, Emma encountered a stranger in the village square. The stranger, draped in humble attire yet radiating an aura that felt almost celestial, approached. "Your faith is the thread that weaves miracles," he said, eyes sparkling with an unexplainable light. "Your community has the power to bind together in prayer. It unlocks miracles far greater than we understand." His words wrapped around Emma's heart like a soft blanket, urging her to remember the strength of unity and belief. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The whispers of change swept through the village like a gentle breeze as faith rekindled in the hearts of the people. Conversations bubbled up around kitchen tables, weaving tales of miracles and divine intervention. With every prayer, the community knit their hopes together. Just as the sun bathed the village in a golden glow, Emma grasped the promise of the 3rd miracle, a flow of abundance that reached beyond the tangible. Each moment of surrender unveiled vibrant blessings that transformed their lives, unveiling the interconnected beauty of their existence through God's love. But as a surge of renewed hope washed over her, the ground shifted beneath Emma's feet. A sudden crisis threatened to unravel her fraying threads of faith and trust. Her thoughts churned, and doubt bubbled, intensifying with each heartbeat. In the looming shadows, where the silence draped thickly, Emma gasped, pondering whether she could truly embrace the miracles unfolding before her. The community held its breath, waiting as anticipation thickened the air, desperate for the unfolding of divine intervention. What would she choose? Would faith triumph, or would she bend beneath the weight of fear? The air crackled with tension, leaving the promise of miracles teasingly uncertain, a powerful question resonating. What next? As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with strokes of orange and pink, Emma knelt in prayer beneath the ancient oak tree that had witnessed countless seasons of whispers and wonders. The gentle rustling of leaves seemed to echo her turmoil as she poured her heart out to God. "Lord," she breathed, "show me the way. Help me believe in the promises I've been given." A whisper of wind caressed her cheek, and in that moment, she felt a flicker of warmth, a gentle nudge towards faith again. Inside her small home, Oliver lay peacefully asleep, his tiny chest rising and falling. Emma's heart filled with longing as she watched him, wishing to see his laughter return. The innocence of his dreams clung to the air, an unspoken prayer for healing. She envisioned him running through the village like he used to, the sunlight dancing in his hair. The image felt almost tangible, a glimpse of what awaited on the other side of despair. Determined, she resolved to gather the families of Willow Creek. They would come together, not just in prayer, but in a united front of love. This was the embodiment of the stranger's words. She reached out to her neighbors, inviting them to a candlelight vigil in the church, a night dedicated to praying for Oliver, for miracles, for hope. On the appointed night, the church was adorned with flickering candles, each flame representing a prayer, a heart yearning for divine touch. The congregation trickled in, their faces illuminated by the warm glows. Emma stood at the altar, her spirit heavy with anticipation, yet glimmering with hope. She met the eyes of familiar faces, the shared concern evident. Each one was a testimony to the power of community. As the gathering began, Emma felt herself wrap in a cocoon of love. Stories of past miracles flowed from the hearts of those present. Moments when God's hand had brushed against their lives, restoring joy, healing wounds, and guiding them through the darkest valleys. Each testimony kindled a flame within Emma, reigniting her faith. With the last flicker of daylight fading outside, the priest stepped into the candlelit space. His presence brought a profound sense of peace. "Tonight," he spoke, his voice steady and comforting, "we will lift Oliver up to the heavens. We will stand united in faith, believing that our prayers will be heard." As the prayers began, a chorus of voices rose gently, like waves reaching toward the shore. Each plea, every whispered word, formed a tapestry, woven together by threads of love and faith. Emma felt the weight of her worries begin to lift, carried on the wings of collective prayers. Suddenly, a hush fell over the congregation. An intense, shimmering light filled the church, and every heart felt it, a divine presence cascading through the moment like soft rain. It was a palpable warmth, wrapping around them like a heavenly embrace. Emma was struck by a knowing, a realization that in faith, miracles did not merely await at the end of the journey. They thrived within the experience of surrender and hope. Tears streamed down Emma's cheeks as love filled the room, flowing through the hearts and souls who stood together, united. And just as she began to breathe in the beauty of the moment, a soft sob broke through the silence. It was Oliver's voice, waking from slumber, but it was filled with something deeper, an echo of strength. In that sacred space, where faith intertwined with desperation, Emma realized that perhaps, just perhaps, the first miracle was already unfolding. What awaited them all just a breath away, pulsing with every heartbeat? The journey had only just begun, but the promise of divine possibilities loomed heavier than ever. What miracle would emerge from this night of faith? The air thickened with anticipation as Oliver's eyes fluttered open. Emma rushed to his side, her heart racing with hope. "Oliver, my sweet boy," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. His gaze met hers, confusion mingling with the warmth of his mother's presence. "Mommy?" he asked, his voice a fragile thread of innocence. A hush fell over the congregation. Their breaths held, each soul connected by the depth of the moment. Emma nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "Yes, I'm here. You're safe." A chorus of gasps rippled through those gathered, as if a spirit of expectancy had taken hold of the room. The flickering candles seemed to dance brighter, as if joining the celebration of this new awakening. "Everyone is praying for you," she continued, brushing a strand of hair from Oliver's forehead. "We love you so much." The priest stepped closer, his presence a comforting anchor. "Oliver, we are here for you, carried by prayers and faith." His voice resonated like a melody, lifting hearts and spirits higher. Oliver blinked, taking in the scene. "Why are there so many lights?" he asked, pointing to the candles. "Those lights are our prayers," Emma said softly. "Each one is a wish, a hope, a miracle waiting to happen." She couldn't help but marvel at how her once quiet home now felt filled to the brim with possibility. "We believe, Oliver," a woman from the back called out, her voice strong and unwavering. "We believe in your healing." A gentle murmur of agreement spread through the room, voices intertwining like a prayerful symphony. Oliver's small face lit up with a glimmer of recognition. He smiled, shining like the light around him. I want to play again. I want to laugh. With those words, the weight of despair slowly crumbled. Emma felt chains breaking, the burden of fear lifting, replaced by a reverberating ripple of faith and joy. As the moments danced on, more prayers were offered, words of affection and support rising up, forming a heavenly shield around Oliver. Emma listened closely, hearing her neighbors recount stories of joy rising from grief, healing from sickness, and love conquering fear. Each testimony acted as kindling, feeding the flames of Emma's faith. Then, in the stillness, a gentle hush enveloped them again. It was as if the universe paused, cradled by divine attention. Emma closed her eyes, surrendering to the weight of love that filled the space, letting it wash over her. "Let's pray together," the priest suggested, and just like that, hearts united once more. They prayed for healing, for strength, for renewed hope. In that sacred moment, it wasn't just Oliver at the center. Each person present allowed themselves to be encompassed in the embrace of community. And as the final amen echoed softly against the walls, a new light filled the room, a warmth that ignited every heart. Emma took a breath, feeling something shift within. The realization dawned gently, yet powerfully. Hope was far more than a flickering flame. It was a steady blaze, fueled by combined faith. As Emma looked down at Oliver, she whispered, "You are a miracle, my love." An unspoken vow passed between them, a connection forged through divine love. What awaited them now, with each heartbeat resonating with newfound faith? What deeper journeys could be uncovered through this vibrant tapestry of belief? The night was just beginning, and the essence of possibility shimmered ahead, ready to be embraced. As the last echoes of Amen drifted into the air, a hush fell over the room. Emma held Oliver close, her heart thrumming with gratitude and hope. The flickering candles cast a soft glow over their faces, illuminating the miracle that had unfolded before them. She felt a warmth in her chest, a divine answer to the whispers of her prayers. "Mommy, I feel happy," Oliver said, his voice a little stronger now. He looked around as if the world was new, a playground bursting with color and joy. His innocent sparkle stirred something deep within the others present. They shared knowing smiles, each heart beating in unison, enveloped in the glow of this awakening. "I'm so thankful," said the priest, his voice rising above the hum of emotion. "What we watched tonight is not merely human. This is the work of God." The congregation nodded, eyes bright and spirits lifted. The once heavy air now buzzed with a vibrancy that felt electric, a sweet promise of renewal hanging in the atmosphere. People began sharing stories, lifting their voices in songs of praise, each word another thread weaving them together in the fabric of faith. "God is with us, and He listens," a woman cried from behind. The words danced in rhythm with the joy overflowing from each heart. Emma felt Oliver squeeze her hand, a small warrior of faith, inseparable from her love and hope. In that moment, the reality of connection transcended the physical. Emma understood how their collective spirit brought forth something larger than themselves. "There's a power in our gathering, isn't there?" she mused quietly to herself, but loud enough for those nearby to hear. The nods of agreement that flowed back felt solid, affirming her thoughts. Oliver turned, eyes like open windows. "I want to see more lights," he exclaimed, a child's pure desire cascading through the air, asking more of what beauty could shine. "Then let's light more candles," a jovial voice called, sparking laughter and conversation. The atmosphere felt charged, as if each prayer had induced a kindling flame. Families sought candles from nearby tables, the humble flame emblematic of their faith. As more candles lit, Oliver's face glowed even brighter. He pointed toward the flickering flames. "There, that one. That's my candle," he shouted, a jubilee of joy echoing in his small proclamation. The priest smiled warmly and led the congregation in another prayer. "Let us give thanks for the miracles we witness, and for the light that lives in each of us. Let it proliferate through our lives." Emma watched the fervor sweep through the crowd, clapping hands raised in unity. Each voice joined in harmony, filling the space with praise. She took a deep breath, feeling more possibilities unfurling around them. As the music swelled, something ignited within her, a daring spark of faith that pulled her closer to the divine. Yet within this ecstasy, a stirring of unanswered questions settled in the pits of her heart. How far would this flame reach? What other miracles could emerge from this revived faith? What if they unlocked deeper abundance waiting to be discovered, just beyond the horizon of their understanding? Oliver, Emma whispered, our journey is just beginning. There's so much more to experience. His eyes glistened with curiosity as he gazed up at her. In that moment, they both sensed something magnificent lay ahead, just waiting for the right moment to be unveiled. What would they find on this path of healing and belief? What treasures in faith could nourish their spirits? Finding answers seemed like a flickering flame beckoning them onward. As the vibrant energy swirled around them, Emma felt a gentle pull in her heart. The air felt charged, each breath infused with the promise of what lay ahead. Oliver, still bubbling with excitement, tugged at her sleeve. Can we see the sparks dance again? He pleaded, his innocent face a canvas of wonder. Of course, my brave little one, Emma replied, brushing a stray hair from his forehead. Let's follow that light together. They moved toward a group gathered near the choir, their voices harmonizing in joy. With each step, Emma felt the warmth of belonging wrap around her, a reminder that their shared faith was illuminating their lives in unparalleled ways. She glanced back at the candles, yearning flames flickering like stars in the night sky. The congregation had formed a circle, faces uplifted and open, expecting more from the Lord. Each hymn resonated, echoing not just the floors but the depths of their souls, awakening a sense of unity that transcended individual struggles. Look, Mommy, Oliver shouted, eyes sparkling. The candles look like they're dancing. Emma witnessed the flames, swaying gently as if in response to Oliver's delight. Her heart swelled. This was not simply a beautiful moment. It was something divine, a whisper from the heavens. It reminded her of how faith illuminated their darkest moments, igniting a flicker of hope where despair once lingered. As the last notes of praise dissolved into breathless silence, the priest stepped forward once more. Believers, never underestimate the power of your voice. Each note carries our prayers to the heavens. Together we confront storms, and together we witness miracles. At those words, Emma felt a powerful surge within. Was it faith? Was it the Spirit? Whatever it was, she welcomed it fully, grateful for its presence. She turned to Oliver, his eyes closed, head tilted slightly as if he could sense the divine breeze rustling through their assembly. They cannot see us, she whispered to him, but our thanks will reach them. Understanding flickered in Oliver's gaze, and he nodded, a solemn reflection on a child's face. Soon, the priest invited the faithful to share testimonies. Stories danced through the air, each rooted in struggle but blossoming into the beauty of healing and transformation. One woman spoke of despair turned to joy after a lengthy illness. Another shared how lost faith reawakened hope after a tragic loss. Listening, Emma's heart brimmed. Each story painted a tapestry of human experience, each thread connected by the glue of faith. What courage existed within these walls, she realized, a power that dwelled not in isolation but in community. Together they created a reservoir of strength and love, a family of believers striving for the same light. But even as joy filled her, a question tweaked at her thoughts. What now? What paths would they tread as these flames continued to guide them? Emma exchanged glances with Oliver. Did he feel it too? The electric anticipation of what was unfolding? Let's look for more light, he suggested, his voice steady and resolute. Absolutely. But where will we find it next? She pondered aloud, feeling the decades of her own uncertainties line her thoughts. In this very moment, an elder approached, leaning close. The light you seek isn't always visible, the old woman murmured, but where there is love and faith, you will always find it. A spark ignited in Emma's heart at her words. It was a reminder. The flame was there, inside, waiting to be kindled. They had stepped into something greater, a quest for wonder and discovery. What would these next steps bring? How would their faith expand, intertwining their lives with divine purpose? With raw excitement, Emma held Oliver's hand tightly. "Let's explore beyond the flickering flames, sweet boy. There's a brighter realm just waiting for us." What awaited them as they followed the call of their hearts? Would they find a truth that would redefine everything? The true dance of light was just beginning. As Emma and Oliver stepped away from the warmth of the candles, a sense of possibility enveloped them. The world outside the walls of the sanctuary seemed to beckon, bright with the unknown. Each footfall felt like a step toward destiny, and Emma held onto her son's hand as if anchoring their shared purpose in that sacred moment. "Show me where to go, God," she whispered fervently, feeling the pulse of hope thrumming in her veins. Oliver glanced up, his eyes wide with curiosity, as though he could hear her silent prayer. With one finger pointing forward, he said, "That way, Mommy. I feel the light there." Emma smiled, knowing that childlike faith often clarified the complexities of adult doubts. Together, they ventured beyond the circle of the gathered congregation and into the wider expanse of their community. The sound of laughter and conversation filled the air, blending harmoniously with the distant echoes of worship. Here, amidst the lively streets, they could see the very essence of divine love lived out. Neighbors supporting one another, kindness exchanged like currency. "Look!" Oliver exclaimed, his face alight with excitement. A group of people was assembling by the fountain, their arms woven into a tapestry of connection. Some were exchanging drawings, others shared stories of hardship and renewal. "They are sharing too," he said, his innocent enthusiasm infectious. "Just like us," Emma replied. Her heart warmed. She felt God's hand guiding them into the thriving heart of community life, the sacred bond that goes beyond Sundays. They approached the fountain, drawn in by the joy enveloping those gathered. "Would you like to share something?" a gentle voice invited, and Emma turned to see a woman with kind eyes, her palms open as if in prayer. Taking a breath, Emma stepped forward. "I want to say how grateful I am for moments like this, where we can feel God's presence in each other." The words flowed naturally, a reflection of the warmth that filled her heart. Even in struggles, sharing our stories can light our way. A shared murmur of agreement arose, and several began to recount their own tales of discovery. One man spoke of overcoming fear. Another woman shared how her recent illness became a catalyst for rediscovered faith. With each testimony, the atmosphere grew electric, filled with an undeniable sense of unity and grace. But amid the testimonies, an unconventional thought settled in Emma's heart. She wondered, might they explore deeper connections, beyond mere words? Perhaps they could impact the lives of others through actions fueled by love and faith. "Can we do something together?" Emma proposed tentatively, her heart racing. "Let's not only talk about change, let's be it." The crowd grew still, waiting to feel the weight of her suggestion. Finally, the same woman with kind eyes spoke. "What a beautiful idea. Let's find a way to help those in need." A ripple of agreement surged through the group, and they set to work, organizing meals for families who had faced loss, collecting supplies for the local shelter. The energy was exhilarating. Emma and Oliver became swept along in the outpouring of love, the light guiding them toward a purpose they hadn't even fully understood until now. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over their efforts, Emma paused for a moment to reflect. Her heart sang with joy, and the deep understanding that they were participants in something divine. "Mommy!" Oliver called, pulling her from her thoughts. "Look at all the lights in the sky. They are brighter when we're together, don't you think?" Emma gazed upward, inspired by the twinkling stars that seemed to echo Oliver's words. Yes, together they made the darkness shine brighter. But as they finished their work for the evening, a persistent tug remained in Emma's spirit. Where would this newfound path lead them next? What even greater miracles was God preparing for them beyond this moment? With the night wrapping around them like a gentle embrace, she held Oliver close, knowing they were only at the beginning of an extraordinary journey. What would be the next revelation waiting just beyond the horizon? The adventure of faith was unfolding, and they were destined to discover what heaven had in store. As the night deepened, a soft breeze rustled the leaves, whispering secrets of the universe to those who dared to listen. Emma and Oliver made their way home, the glow of the streetlights shimmering like little orbs of divine encouragement. Although the day had been filled with light, a gentle restlessness lingered in Emma's heart. It was as if something was brewing just beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to manifest. "You know what?" Emma said, glancing down at Oliver, who was skipping beside her. "We started something beautiful today, didn't we?" Oliver nodded vigorously, his curls bouncing with enthusiasm. "Yeah, and we made people happy." "Yes, sweet boy, sharing love brings joy." They arrived home, where the walls were warm and welcoming. Emma prepared a simple dinner, her mind racing with thoughts of the day. Each moment replayed like a cherished film, reminding her of the impact they could have in their community. As she set the table, she felt God's presence settling in around them like a cozy blanket, comforting in its assurance. "Mommy?" Oliver's voice broke through her contemplation. "Do you think we can share more tomorrow?" Emma knelt beside him, cupping his face with her hands. "Absolutely. Just think of the possibilities. We can do even more." A light shone in Oliver's eyes, full of faith and excitement. "Like building a giant slide for everyone?" Emma laughed, her heart buoyed by his innocent exuberance. "Or we could gather people to plant flowers, beautifying our town. Let's imagine together." As the night wore on, they prayed together, a routine that grounded them and filled their hearts with celestial hope. Emma closed her eyes and offered a heartfelt prayer, asking for clarity and guidance, for the next steps to unfold in faith. Just as she finished, a sudden thought struck home like an arrow piercing the fog of uncertainty. What if they not only provided for those in need, but also invited others into a deeper relationship with God? "God," Emma whispered, her hands trembling with excitement, "please lead us toward miracles that will inspire others to seek you. We can be vessels of your love." In that moment, a warmth enveloped her, a confirmation that her prayer was heard. She splashed her face with water, staring at her reflection, conviction flooding her heart. "Tomorrow will be different," she declared softly into the mirror. "Tomorrow, we will invite others into his light." The next day dawned bright and clear. Birds fluttered joyfully outside their window, singing a chorus of celebration. Emma and Oliver sprang into action, drafting a plan to reach out. They crafted colorful flyers, outlining their idea of gathering the community for a day of service and celebration, a festival of connection through love and faith. As they distributed the flyers, Emma felt a sense of urgency building within her, an inexplicable nudging from the Spirit, urging her to gather not just help, but heart. They visited the local park, where families congregated, and as they spoke, she perceived something new, a thirst for deeper connections among her neighbors. "Let's meet at the fountain this Saturday," she declared, excitement building. "We'll share food, stories, and love. Let's help each other shine." Oliver's eyes sparkled with anticipation as they connected with families, drawing them in with their shared hope. Laughter and chatter filled the air, a harmonious melody composed of diverse voices eager to participate. But just as the excitement swelled, a shadow crossed Emma's heart. Would anyone actually show up? Would her vision bear fruit? With that apprehension lingering like a whisper in the back of her mind, she knelt to pray once more, seeking peace. "Lord, if this is your plan, I trust in you. I surrender my doubts to you." Later that week, an unexpected visitor arrived at her doorstep, a local pastor known for his empowering sermons. He spoke of the stirrings he felt in the community, how he sensed a movement of faith rising around them. As Emma shared her vision, his eyes brightened. "This is it," he exclaimed. "We can partner together. When we align our hearts with God's will, we open doors to his blessings." Emma felt the weight of his words sink deeply into her spirit, excitement rippling through her veins. Perhaps this was the divine connection she had been praying for. As Saturday approached, she could hardly contain her joy and nervousness. With everything moving so fast, she wondered what miracles awaited at the fountain. Would their day of hope truly blossom as they envisioned? With a heart full of hope and hands ready for action, Emma stepped out into the world, trusting that heaven would guide her to extraordinary moments of grace. What divine invitations would they find waiting in the midst of their community? As Saturday dawned, the sun rose in a glorious display of warmth, bathing the world in golden light. Emma stirred early, her heart fluttering with anticipation. She glanced at Oliver, still wrapped in dreams, blissfully unaware of the day's unfolding adventure. With a quiet smile, she moved about the house, preparing for what she hoped would be an incredible gathering. There was something magical about the morning. The air buzzed with potential, and Emma could feel it coiling around her like a waiting embrace. Each step she took seemed to echo in her soul, reminding her that today wasn't just an event, it was a bridge uniting hearts. As they arrived at the fountain, Emma's breath caught in her throat. Tables adorned with colorful tablecloths lined the pathway. Balloons danced on the gentle breeze, and laughter flitted through the air like the melodies of playful birds. The park was alive, yet a lingering question gnawed at her heart. Would all this preparation be enough? An hour passed, and slowly, families began to trickle in, their faces lighting up with smiles of curiosity. With Oliver beside her, Emma greeted them with a warmth that felt as if it were grounded in something divine. Each handshake and hug felt like a stitch in a growing tapestry, a vibrant community being woven together in love. "Look at all the faces, Mommy!" Oliver exclaimed, his enthusiasm contagious. "So many people." "Yes, honey, this is what sharing love looks like," she replied, her voice tinged with joy. As they mingled, something extraordinary began to unfold. People weren't just coming for the food or entertainment. They gathered around Emma, seeking stories, sharing laughter, and even offering their own blessings. Someone brought fresh-baked bread. Another shared a guitar. Within an hour, the air was thick with the sweet aroma of shared hope, an invisible thread connecting every soul. But beyond the festive atmosphere, the spirit was moving among them, revealing glimpses of deeper connections. Conversations that started with small talk often shifted toward purpose and belonging. Eyes sparkled with recognition as neighbors shared their dreams, fears, and the weight of solitude lifted by community. Then came the moment Emma had prayed for. As the pastor rallied everyone for a brief prayer, the gathering fell silent. Emma's heart raced, and she felt an overwhelming sense of unity wash over them. "Let's invite God into this space together," he said, his voice steady and powerful. They bowed their heads, and the air grew electric. Emma's heart swelled, anxious yet trusting. "Lord, we ask for your guidance and protection, that you make us instruments of your peace and purpose. Through our connections, let us see your light shine brightly in our lives." Just as he finished, a soft rustling came from the bushes nearby. Emma turned to find a man, clearly struggling and weary. His clothes were tattered, but his gaze held an earnest hope. "Is this where the gathering is?" he asked carefully, a hint of vulnerability in his voice. "Yes, come join us," Oliver exclaimed, holding out his hand. Emma's heart soared. The pastor stepped forward, embracing the man as if he were a long-lost brother, welcoming him into the circle of love that was now radiating in every direction. "Isn't it beautiful?" Emma thought, realizing that this was what she longed for, a community enfolding all willing hearts, regardless of their past. As the day drew to a close, laughter echoed and stories unfolded. Yet, a whisper lingered in Emma's heart. Would this man's courage ripple through others? As she scanned the sea of faces, some joyous, some contemplative, Emma knew that their journey had just begun. And when they prayed again that evening, she sensed a strong conviction. God was inviting them to something far more profound than just sharing food and stories. What divine transformations might bloom as they continue this journey together? Emma felt the stirring within her. The adventure was only beginning. The sun dipped low in the sky, painting the horizon in shades of orange and pink, as the gathering began to wind down. Laughter faded into soft conversations, and children chased one another in the fading light, their delight echoing like a song of innocence. Emma felt a profound peace settle in her heart, a confirmation that they had embarked on something significant. But the moment of quiet was suddenly interrupted by a burst of excitement. A group of teenagers had gathered around the fountain, their energy palpable, their laughter contagious. They began to share stories of their lives, tales of heartache and triumph twisting together in a vibrant tapestry that captured the attention of those nearby. Emma watched as people from all walks of life leaned in, captivated by the moment. "What do we do now?" Oliver tugged at her sleeve, eyes wide with wonder. Now we listen. Emma smiled, her heart full. As the stories unfolded, something remarkable happened. Each tale seemed to reveal fragments of God's grace, unexpected moments of joy born from pain, and the universal longing for connection that binds mankind to one another. The air thrummed with an unspoken understanding, a silent acknowledgement that in each of their hearts lay a desire to be known, loved, and accepted. An older woman, her face etched with lines of wisdom, stood up, clearing her throat. "I want to share," she said, her voice soft yet steady. "Not long ago, I lost my husband. I felt utterly alone. But then, I joined my community's book club, and it turned out to be a lifeline. We read, we laughed, we cried, we supported each other." Her eyes glistened as she continued. Each page turned felt like a step toward healing. We are never alone. The crowd murmured their agreement, some nodding, others wiping away tears. Emma felt a tug at her heartstrings. This was what the gathering was meant to evoke, a sense of shared burdens and collective joy, the beauty of vulnerability and the power of stories. Encouraged by the woman's candidness, another person stood, and then another, each sharing moments of despair that transformed into hope through the hands of community. Their sacred stories became a balm, healing wounds that often lay hidden beneath the surface. The Spirit of God moved among them, weaving prayers through laughter and tears, binding them together in a glorious display of strength. Emma couldn't help but beam with gratitude. What started as an event blossomed into a sacred communion of souls, where each individual felt embraced and seen. She whispered a prayer of thanks, feeling the weight of God's presence uplift them all. As the sun sank lower, creating shadows that danced beneath the trees, Emma sensed a stirring among the crowd. A collective anticipation simmered in the air, and she knew something more profound was on the verge of being unveiled. "Let's unite for one last prayer," the pastor suggested, and everyone shuffled closer, forming a circle beneath the fading light. This wasn't just a prayer. It was an invitation to step into divine abundance together. "Lord," he began, "we come to you, filled with gratitude for these stories, for the shared love that binds us. We ask that you open our hearts to the miracles that await, that we may walk forward in unity and purpose." As they prayed, a gentle breeze swept through the gathering, swirling among them like a divine whisper, igniting hope and stirring spirits. Emma felt a warmth, a promise lingering in the air. "What greater abundance might we uncover if we keep this spirit alive?" she pondered, excitement bubbling in her chest. With eyes shining, the crowd turned to each other, and in that fleeting moment, the promises of hope began to flourish. What awaited them at the crossroads of faith and community? Each heart beat with potential, poised to uncover the miracles that could change their lives forever. And deep in her soul, Emma knew they were on the brink of something remarkable. But what divine mysteries awaited on this path of love? As twilight embraced Willow Creek, floods of golden light painted the sky a breathtaking hue, like God's palette at dusk. Emma stood hand in hand with Oliver, feeling the anticipation ripple through the crowd, an almost tangible energy binding everyone together. This wasn't just any gathering. It was a divine convergence of hearts, and Emma's spirit surged with hope. "Mommy, look at all the smiles!" Oliver exclaimed, his voice sparkling with childlike wonder. With each embrace and warm conversation, a symphony of love filled the air, and Emma knew they were in the midst of miracles unfolding. The pastor stepped forward again, his presence grounding yet ethereal. "Friends, tonight, we have witnessed the power of sharing our stories. Tonight, we've seen that each heart carries a light, and together, we can spark a blaze strong enough to illuminate the darkest paths." He paused, letting his words settle, his gaze sweeping over the assembly. What if we shared this light beyond ourselves? Emma's heart thudded in excitement as she perceived the truth of his words. Yes. What if they became vessels of God's love, a wellspring that flowed out into their community, into the world? As if sensing her thoughts, the pastor continued, "I propose we embark on a journey of transformation. Who's with me? Let's take the stories we've shared and turn them into action. Together, we can serve those in need, providing meals, companionship, anyone struggling. Let's invite others to light by embodying the heart of God in tangible ways." Cheers erupted from the crowd, a chorus of enthusiasm igniting around her. Emma's eyes glistened with joyful tears. The community was ready. What had begun as an intimate gathering was expanding into a movement, a blazing fire fueled by unwavering faith. "We can create a monthly day of service," Emma shouted, stepping forward with conviction. "We'll gather here every first Saturday. We'll share food, share stories, and bring hope to those who feel unseen. Together, we will shine brightly as a beacon of love." "Yes, we will light up the entire community," someone echoed from the back, and the crowd erupted into applause, spirits lifted higher than the stars twinkling above. As they rallied together, they exchanged contact information, forming new connections and laying the groundwork for a future drenched in purpose. Emma felt warmth radiating from the souls around her, igniting something deep within. Every hug and shared laugh painted a vivid tapestry of hope. This was indeed divine abundance. With the call to action echoing in their hearts, the energy swelled. Parents hustled, exchanging ideas. Children giggled, weaving chains of inclusion. Oliver tugged at her sleeve, his eyes filled with wonder. "Mommy, can I help too? I want to make people happy." "Of course, my love," Emma replied, her heart brimming with pride. "You're already a miracle. Just be yourself, shine your light." The pastor stepped back, allowing the community to come alive in their passions. Discussions turned to fervent plans, sketches for community gardens, meal schedules, and shared resources filling the air with purpose. Emma felt a divinely orchestrated whirlwind swirling around her, reminding her that every prayer brought seeds of change. Then, all at once, the sky dimmed as night enveloped them in a velvety cloak. The flickering lights from candles and street lamps began to sparkle like heaven descending. In that quiet moment, each individual held their breath, realizing the sacredness of what they had just birthed. "Let's conclude this gathering with a prayer," the pastor urged, and everyone joined hands, a circle of faith encircling Willow Creek. Emma's heart swelled with gratitude, feeling the gentle squeeze from her neighbors, a comforting reminder of their collective strength. The pastor prayed, "Father, thank you for reigniting our hope. We thank you for each life here, for stories shared, and for the paths we will forge together. May we become conduits of your love, spreading joy wherever we go. Amen." "Amen," the resounding chorus echoed, filling the night with a beautiful resonance. As the crowd broke into excited chatter, Emma gazed at Oliver, who sparkled with a smile that radiated pure light. "Did you see that, Mommy? We can help everyone." "Yes, my sweet boy," Emma replied, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Together we can change lives. We are the miracles we seek. We are the light." Emma embraced Oliver tightly, feeling immensely grateful. A newfound clarity washed over her, invigorating her spirit. They had taken a leap of faith that day, united, vibrant, and brimming with possibility, with the sky stretching vast above them, as if the universe itself was awash in divine approval. Emma knew there was no limit to what they could achieve together. Hope intertwined with love, creating an unstoppable force destined to illuminate not just their village but radiate outward, a beacon of hope shining brightly for all to see. And as Emma and Oliver walked home that night, every step felt blessed, divinely orchestrated, a journey toward abundance, toward miracles yet to unfold. This is just the beginning. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread this divine message. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this journey. Share your story with us. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Remember, only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our mission through these actions.